So welcome to ECTEL Bytes, a production of the Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Authority. I'm your host, Coretta Crooks-Charles, ECTEL's Communications and Media Relations Manager. For those who might not know, ECTEL is the regional regulatory body advising the National Telecommunications Commission, the NTRCs, on electronic communications or telecommunications matters in our 5 member states, namely the Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We started ECTEL Bytes in May 2021 with the goal to provide bite-sized information about developments in electronic communications being undertaken by the Directorate as well as like-minded organizations. So the previous show was scheduled for June 22nd, but 30 minutes before showtime, we had to cancel due to unforeseen circumstances. We sincerely apologize for this cancellation, and we're grateful to be back with you here today. So today we have a repeat guest, not a repeat offender, just a repeat guest on our program. When she was here last year, she told us all about the Universal Service Fund, or the USF, and how the NTRC Saint Lucia was using this program to positively influence the lives of many people across St. Lucia by providing access to affordable electronic communication services. But today she'll be focusing on the NTRC Summer Tech program that just wrapped up after 4 weeks in St. Lucia. Our special guest is none other than Sandra Jones, the Universal Service Fund Administrator at the NTRC Saint Lucia. Welcome back to ECTEL Bytes, Sandra.
Thank you so much. It's good to be back.
Awesome. So we're going to jump right into it. You know how we go. All
Yes.
right. So NTRC Summer Tech program. What year was it this initiative started, and what are some of the main objectives?
So we started off in 2018. That's like 5 years ago. Yes. And the main objectives of the program is to ensure that the youths, and when I say the youths, we somehow target the Form 4 students, the students preparing for exam, pursuing IT-related topics, subjects, right? So thus far, since we started, we have been working with Form 4 IT students. The objective is to whet their appetite, is to introduce them to very important topics. And that is what we have been doing over the 5 years. In 2018, when we started out, we did basic IT skills, a program just featuring basic IT skills, Microsoft, and that, stuff that people think that, they know, but there's little things, And then we went on in 2019 to the Lego Mindstorm, that's the robotics program. They love that. And that was a blast. So it went well. And in 2020, COVID hit. So our plans just went to sleep for a while. We had nothing in that year. Last year, we continued with coding with Python. That's a programming language. Another big hit for the youths, for the students. And this year, we decided on access, safety, and security.
Okay, so we'll talk more about the theme in a little while.
Right. So the Summer Tech program is an internal initiative of the NTRC. It's part of our technological innovation mandate. and it's geared towards training, ensuring that persons are trained within the IT field.
Okay, I noticed you said, Sandra, that you start out with the fourth form students. So do you have repeat participants, or every time do you have a new batch of participants?
Yes, so every so often we might just find like one person. Like this year, we in about 3 locations, we found like at least one person did a course with us. There was an instance where a person did 4 courses with us since the time, since we started inception, and it was really nice having them, yeah. So we do have repeats.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because, the point is you're doing different topics every year.
that's
So
right.
if you do have the space, it would be wise for them to, follow up with what you're doing so they could learn something new.
And as you said, space, I just want to say something on that. We are kind of bounded when it comes to space. We're restricted. COVID did not help. We, the numbers. This year we were forced to look at a maximum of 16 students, which is very small when as compared to how many secondary schools on the island. Initially, we started off with about 30 being our maximum. So we do wish that we can expand when it comes to, reaching out as much students as possible.
Okay, well, hopefully next year you'll get your heart's desire and you'll get to
And have as
get
much
30,
and,
exactly.
or more.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, so tell us about this year's program. You did mention that you target fourth form students and so on, but who were the beneficiaries? Where were they from? How old were they? And how are they selected?
Okay, so what we try to do is cover the entire island, the reach. So we look at secondary schools in Castries, Soufrière, Vieux-Fort, and in the area of Mico. So we try to do as 4 locations every year. The students range between the age of 14 and 16. They're selected by the IT teachers. So we reach out to the schools, we make a request asking the teachers to select a student. And that's how, of course, we give them the amount for the particular school based on where the school is located.
Okay.
So that's
the number of students.
Right. So for
Okay.
example, because we have so many secondary schools in Castries area, we may ask the IT teacher for 1 student.
Okay.
Right, as opposed to the other schools.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so the program, what does it look like on a typical day? What time do they start? What time do they end? Are there outings, or is it predominantly at the a specific location? What does a day look like in the life of Summer Tech program?
Okay, so it's basically done within the lab area, the inside setting. Because we time bound, we only have like 5 days. It's 1 week per location. So a typical day starts with introduction, housekeeping, sort of a thing. Then the facilitators have like the schedules well set for all 5 days. We will break every day. We provide a break at 10 and then a lunch. We provide lunch as well at about 12:30. And then we try to work like within the normal school day. So we start like 9 and end about 2:30. So that we're forced to maybe 3 o'clock, all depends, right? And then at the end of the week, we would normally have the lecturer doing a sort of evaluation exercise and assessment. And then the students are all, they can win something, participation. We give prize for the most interactive groups, the students, doing the best, that kind of thing, the assessment, based on the assessment, based on what they've been doing throughout the week. The prices are really, really good. They're IT related prices, prices that they really like telephone, like cell phones, like, computer items, accessories like ring lights,
Yes.
and speakers, Bluetooth, they like these things.
Those are some great prizes.
Great prices. So we start off in the week. We smartwatches. So we start off by enticing them, we say, we do have a very good program. Your faces will change at the end of the week, and it does. And then by the time they, see the prices and everything, and then they beg for more.
Oh, wow.
So they want a longer program. So that's one of the feedbacks.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll get to that.
Okay, you mentioned facilitators. I noticed because I monitor the NTRC Instagram page, and I saw a young man from the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. I think he was studying biology, something completely unrelated, but he was into tech. So how do you go about like sourcing your facilitators? And they're not all staff of the NTRC.
No, they're not. Actually, the young man you saw this year, he's part of an organization, a group of young IT professionals called Optronics. So Optronics has been with us. They facilitated for us for about maybe 4 years or 3 years. Yeah, in the past, they're very good. We like dealing with the young facilitators because they can, they can relate to the students very well, and they have been very good thus far. They've been very efficient. So we had Optronics this year again. We had a split between Optronics and a young lady named Phaedra DeBeek. Again, very young, but very efficient in what she does. So yes.
All right. Okay, so the theme, as you mentioned earlier for this year, was access, safety, and security with internet use. Why was this theme chosen by the NTRC?
So first of all, this theme was used earlier this year for Girls in ICT. That's an ITU initiative that we normally participate. We normally do have something, to mark the day. We featured it, but it was one day. So one day in Castries, one day in the north, and then we found that it was just not enough because it's such an important topic, so much to offer one day. Okay, so we decided, you know what? Let's use it for Summer Tech. We found the topic important because a lot of young persons, as you know, is online. Since COVID especially, they're online. It's summer, they're off from official school, they're online, always on the devices. So they use the internet a lot, but they're unaware of the dangers lurking in cyberspace, right? So we found it a good opportunity to teach the fundamentals of safety and security. Okay, and then there's the awareness while accessing the internet. So a number of topics were chosen, like for example, phishing attacks, so cloud security, internet and email use, social media, public Wi-Fi, a number of topics, yes, and we found them very interested. The students were very interested, especially the ones that dealt with the internet use. And what we did, we had split the topics between the facilitators. So just to ensure that there is no monotony, different lecturers having, different, and imparting it differently,
yes,
as well.
Okay, I'm just curious, Sandra.
Yes.
You mentioned the safety component. Did any of the children, identify with some of the safety issues? Were they able to be like, oh my goodness, this happened to me? Or it was just like new information altogether and this never happened to any of the participants?
Well, in very rare cases, somebody would say, no, I never had any attack. I've never been, nobody ever tried to, get to me, anybody trying to hack or anything. But a lot of them, yes, identified with certain emails they've got. Some of them even showed emails that they recently got, that it was obvious a phishing attack,
I got one this morning.
I get them all the time.
Yeah.
So then I think, I don't know, maybe I'm a fish.
Okay, I'm wondering, in terms of boys versus girls, what was was there a balance, or did you have more boys than girls? I asked this question because when we had our Girls in ICT Day event last year and this year, persons were saying, but what about the boys? What about the boys? And we had to explain to them, Yes, we'll do things for the boys, but the girls are underrepresented in the field of IT. So for your Summer Tech program, did you have more girls or more boys?
We had a good balance.
Okay.
We had a good balance. Yeah, I would say it was well balanced.
Okay.
I mean, and to see, like, we did not handpick them ourselves. We left it to the teachers. So it was just like, I mean, it could have been a case where we ended up with more girls or more boys. But in the case for the past few years, it's balanced.
Okay, excellent.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
so you mentioned earlier about some of the feedback you've gotten and that students wish the program was longer. Are there any other feedback or you want to elaborate on that? What do they tell you?
Well, apart from the fact that I think the content is quite relevant, teacher and students and facilitator alike, they all were excited, they were receptive, they love the cyber aspect of the course, I must say. What they found is that the timing, it was too short. They wanted more than a week. So a lot of recommendations came. We know we spoke to all of them. We asked for feedback. And some of the ones that, that's topped were the fact that they wanted longer time. They wanted like a camp, like a summer camp. With different similar programs throughout the period. Yeah, so I mean, we have to discuss that internally. We have to, if we're taking it on board, we have to look at different aspects. We have to look at financing, funding, it takes a lot. Resources, there's a lot to look at.
Yes.
But it's good because we're achieving what we set out to achieve, which is getting the persons involved, getting the students involved. We have already whetted their appetite with the programs that we've offered, or have been offering. So yeah, so it's something to discuss more. We had like adults asking, what about us? So it's not just about the girls. We have the adults asking for after work programs, IT related, which is good because a lot of persons, they're not too, comfortable, they're not too familiar using computers, and everything like that.
For World Telecommunication and Information Society Day, we did a Vox Pop.
Yes.
Because our special guest was Mr. Ember Charles,
Oh,
our managing director here.
yes.
I did a Vox Pop and I spoke to maybe 7 or 10 people, and some persons refused to come on camera. You know why? They said they're not going to go on television to say that they don't know how to use, the internet or to use their phones because their friends would laugh at them. Adults, 40s, 50s, and so on. Yes, they were so embarrassed. So I can fully understand when persons approach you with this request, and maybe something, we should look into.
No, it's serious. It's really serious. I mean, these persons are applying for jobs. They, they want to do stuff online. They want to do it safe as well. They're the biggest targets, the older folks. They are the biggest targets for the scammers. And just because they're not aware, just because they're not aware of the things they should not do, you'll be surprised. Some of the challenges we found as well, our approach, I think we'll have to look into our approach. The selection type is like we ask a teacher to select a student. But yes, that student is an IT student. But what we found, whether or not that child in particular wants to be part of the program, it's another story.
Okay.
So we'll look into this how we select the students, the format. Then the other thing is the parents. We found that because some of the parents do not understand what is it that we're offering, the importance of what we're offering, it's neither here nor there. So the children, may not attend. We have some folks missing. We call. It's because the parents, send them to do something else, that kind of thing. So we have to get the parents on board as well, and so the buy-in from the parents, and for the parents again to understand the importance of the program. So that is something to look at, sensitizing the parents.
Yes.
Yes.
So you have your work cut out for you.
Yes.
But you're still doing very well. So the summer program has ended, Sandra. What is next? how can we, the regulators, government, corporate Saint Lucia, ensure that more young people, especially the disadvantaged, have access to electronic communications and in a safe way, electronic communication services and devices, because you may have a device, but then no access to internet. So it has to be both. What can we do?
So yeah, so we're quite aware of that. One of our recent initiatives were the MiFi initiatives, where we had like 4,000 MiFi units handed out to the school students in the school Form 4s and other students as well.
Primary schools.
Primary
too,
schools,
because
yes,
some came
because
home with phones.
that's right. So we left that up to the Ministry of Education and to the teachers again to identify the students, the needy students who actually need that type of access. It was very important back then because, as you know, most of the online learning, was school home-based as opposed to being in the school. So that's appeared, well, from what we've noticed and reported, it was a very good initiative. It's still on. It's about to end though. Yes. So we rely on the Ministry of Education to, if based on the assessment, to get back to us, because we do not write our own projects. We do not put out our own projects from within the NTRC USF. What we do, we evaluate them, we accept them, we look at them, we ask persons to submit.
Yes, I was going to say that because I remember the last, you had asked me to share a request, to the public to submit their proposals. I think you should mention that, because persons may not even be aware.
Yeah, so if you visit our website, there is a form. They can even request receive a hard copy from our office, and the form is like the application, the proposal forms, and other information they can access from our website that tells them exactly what the USF will fund and how they can go about doing so. Okay. Accessing the funding.
And that's www.ntrcslu.lc. That's correct?
That's right.
So please go, because that project, I'm sure there are many more students who could benefit from, a continuation of this.
One thing I must say, the Summer Tech is an internal initiative for now. What we are funding are the other types of projects that has an internet and a computer aspect to it, and a management component as well. When it comes to training, putting the programs out there and having, this is for now an internal initiative. So for now, we would not accept, until it's changed, of course, accept requests for a group just wanting to train 60 persons in Rosalie.
Yes.
No, not right now.
I was making reference to the requests under the USF.
Oh, okay. For the
projects,
projects, yes, internet. And I must say, ensure that it has not just computer, not just equipment, but it has an internet component, an access component, because that's the mainstay, that's the main mandate of the USF, ensuring accessibility.
Okay, all right. So if parents wanted to, I know it's probably a whole year before it starts again, but if persons wanted more information, as I said, they're on Instagram and you could see the wonderful work being shared with the public, but persons wanted more information about, registration and so on. Where could they look? Is it only on your website that they would go to?
That's the thing again. The registration is not open because
the schools,
because of the restriction in terms of number and funding as well. Okay. So because with the numbers, so it's all about us going to the schools again to ensure that, and then what we do, we go to the schools and then we get the parents to sign their to sign off on it, to give their approval for the students. So for now, it's not something that's just thrown out to the public and say, okay, unless we revisit it and we found a way to, open it up a little bit more.
So for now, persons who are interested should check in with their schools closer to the time.
Right.
Your IT teachers, so
Yes.
to speak.
Maybe one thing we would try to do is to have the schools send more students
Okay.
in the future,
Okay.
as opposed to one. But now we still have COVID restrictions in some places.
Okay, yes, okay,
Yes.
that's understandable.
Yes,
Certain things we can't control.
that's right.
So we spoke a lot about the Summer Tech program, Sandra.
Mhm.
I know the NTRC, you're doing way more than that. So tell us about some of the projects that's ongoing with the NTRC now.
So ongoing, we have projects. We have a project with the Boys Training Center that's ongoing. That's access and equipment. We have the Uptown Girls. That's access. And we have the National Skills Development Center. We have the National Council for Persons with Disabilities.
Tell me a little bit about that project.
That project, we provided access and equipment. We also provided, because it's persons with special needs, we provided braille type keyboards, special software for persons with sight issues.
So I'm just curious, Sandra, so is it that the NCPD or the Bandwidth Association would write to you and the project gets funded and then they go about disseminating whatever, or is it
staff?
the staff?
For now.
Okay.
For now, it's the staff it needs.
Okay.
It's for enabling the staff to better serve
Okay.
the public for now.
Okay, that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they have whiteboards that they benefited from. So I guess every now and again, if they have a program, then the public will also benefit as
Okay.
well. But for now, what
Staff.
is for the staff?
Okay,
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
Any
And
other
then,
projects before I
one
had cut you?
Most recent project is a pilot project. It's for 1 year. It's new. It's different from the types of project that it's the Smart Bus Shelter project. It's located in Shop.
Okay.
Next to the Mega J.
Yes.
So access points is being installed as we speak. I believe they might be finished by now. Checking it. And yes.
So if I'm running out of charge, I can just go to the bus stop.
Go to the bus stop
by
and
Mega
shop.
J and shop.
Yes. You might be able to
Actually, Mega.
You might be able to charge
Charge
your
my phone.
phone. And I think there will be music in the background.
Oh, wow.
Yes, from what I've seen, the adequate lighting
I
and all
hope
that.
you have enough ports because you know that would be a hot spot now.
No, we hope your bus will have to be there. By the time you started to get comfortable. Anyway, it's a good initiative.
Yes, it is.
It's good for safety as well. You know, you never know. Somebody might be, in need of some form of connectivity.
Yes.
After hours, you never know. So it's a pilot. We want to see after 1 year how this project rolls out.
Okay.
And then the proposer, I guess, will be invited, if you so wish, to cover the existing
Other bus
bus,
stops and
other bus
other
shelters.
areas.
They do have to have a little revamping of them, of course, to
Mhm.
ensure that they can accommodate the infrastructure.
Okay, so I'm guessing that the NTRC will indeed, when it is launched and finalized, you'll put out your little press release and
Of course.
inform the public.
Of course.
I'm looking forward to that information.
And
so
if
could
you
share it
pass
with
there,
you
you'll
as
see
well.
our banner, I guess.
Yes. That's
You
exciting.
You'll see we'll make our presence known.
Yes, because you tend to find these things in the
Yes.
airports, where
Yes.
persons travel, but
Mhm.
the bus is also a means of transportation. So
That's
why
right.
not have?
So why not have
access to-
access?
Yes, that's excellent.
So we saw it and we found it was a very good initiative, but seeing that it's new, so let's take it.
Do you know if,
Baby
you may
steps.
not know the response to this, but I'm curious, do you know if any of the other member states have a similar project, or would Saint Lucia be the first? Do
Not
you
that
have any
I
idea?
know of. No, not that
Okay.
I know of.
Okay,
Not that I know of.
I'll try to find out as well, so.
Yeah.
Awesome job. So
Mhm.
any closing remarks?
Yes, people keep informed. You go to our website, go to see what we have, what we can offer. There's a lot of issues out there on a whole. You never know, NTRC, might be able to give you the answer to. And then maybe why not learn more about the Universal Service Fund and what we're doing. you know, and how your student, your kids are benefiting, and our plans for the future. So I'm just urging you to
And I just
Keep
wanted to know
informed.
that they're also on
Yes.
Instagram at NTRC Saint Lucia. So follow them there. They're actually doing a live right now of this program. So NTRC,
Mhm.
remind me, I just said it. SLU, no, ST Lucia, right? So go follow them there and be informed because they're doing
Sure.
an amazing job in Saint Lucia.
We tried.
Yes, you are. So thanks so much for being here again. A second.
pleasure.
Yes, and Sandra is, she may not want me to say this, but she's on vacation. But when I
Oh.
extended the invitation, she said, sure. So this is really important to her and the NTRC.
It
And
is, yes,
kudos
yes,
to you for
yes.
taking time out of your vacation to come and have a
No
conversation
problem.
on this.
It's good, yes.
Yes.
It's good, yes.
So
Mhm.
again, kudos to the NTRC Saint Lucia for staging their Summer Tech program. If
Mhm.
you have a child in your life, please look out for the program when it is held next year. Let them check in with their IT teachers if they're interested,
Mhm.
because these opportunities not only educate our children on
Mhm.
useful matters related to technology,
Mhm.
but it might also motivate them to pursue IT careers or work in the field of electronic communications. You can never tell. So in case you joined us late, that's okay. You could just rewatch it. And our special guest again is Miss Sandra Jones, the Universal Service Fund Administrator at the NTRC Saint Lucia. If you have any questions at all, be sure to leave them in the comment section below, and we'll definitely respond to you as soon as possible. So apart from being on our Facebook page, the recording of ECTEL Bites will also be on our YouTube channel, that's at ECTEL, and on Twitter at ECTEL Authority. So be sure to share with your friends who are not on Facebook. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you again. So we're going to be back on the 4th Wednesday in September. So that's September 28th for another episode of ECTEL Bites, 2 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time. So I'm your host, Coretta Cooks-Charles, ECTEL's Communications and Media Relations Manager. Thank you so much for joining us. And until then, you keep safe and take care.